Okay, this is brainwaves. So if you want to learn more about this, I highly recommend checking out Joe Dispenza. He gets real in depth about these, and that's actually who I learned from. I've read several of his books; they're great. It's how I learned how to access the Akashic records, or one of the ways I learned, or how to get like very, very deep into meditation. So we're going to talk about here first beta and gamma. Most people are living in beta brainwaves. This is you alert, you on, you got activated central nervous system. Okay? And when we have an activated central nervous system, again, it's just very difficult to do things in life because you're just so like agitated. Okay, or having those fearful thoughts. Even they give the example of an escape room, and if this is your first time hearing about an escape room, it's not, you know, a scary thing. It's a game that you can go play with your friends. You go to a building and then you go in a room, excuse me, and there's a bunch of clues in there, and you have to work together to figure out how to get out, and there's a timer that is running. It is a very high pressure situation. It's not dangerous necessarily, but it's like, oh, I have to utilize a lot of my mental capacity because I am hinging the success of all of us together on figuring something out like very quickly in this limited amount of time. Also, taking a test, same thing. Like maybe you're taking a test to middle school, high school, college, and it's hinging, or your job, and it's hinging like, am I going to graduate? Am I going to be able to get this job if I take this test? Very high pressure. Wrestling an alligator. That would also be a very high pressure situation. Like that can be a life and death situation for sure. But back in the day when we were cave people, we were in gamma sometimes because we were running away from like tigers and things trying to chase us, right? And most people, again, are living in beta, the next one down. This is where you are still in kind of high pressure situations, but you're not having to use as much as your mental capacities, and it's not as intense of a situation. But this is also, if you are living in this state of being the majority of your time, this is where fear and anxiety and catastrophizing live. This is where we get on negative thought trains. We are not finding peace throughout the day. We are just go, 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 go. And we're not taking time to, you know, have fun and relax and be chill. The next one down being alpha brain waves. But beta is like if you're in a meeting with coworkers, if you're cooking, and cooking is different for everybody. Okay. Some people like that's your chill time, but other people, it's a lot. Okay, there's like different steps going on. The kitchen's all messy. Like you're trying to like not burn things. Like it can be a more of a high pressure. Video games. That's a little bit different than an escape room. An escape room, much higher pressure because you know your partners are hinging their success on like your mental capacities. Everybody is. Video games, you're in your house, like it's not as high as stakes as an escape room. Now we get down to alpha. This is the place that we want to strive to be for the most part. Okay, and I know that's not always available for everybody, but the more that you work on healing your central nervous system, the more you will be in this place, even when you are in like really like high activity, high mental level capacities. So this is things like walking by a lake, painting, reading. This is where you kind of get into your flow state and you just feel at peace with yourself and peace with reality, and are able to work through like conflict or challenges without getting so, you know, frizzle frazzly. Theta, this is where you are getting drowsy and in a meditative state. This is a dangerous place to be sometimes. Okay, because this is where your subconscious mind is the most open to suggestion, right before you fall asleep and right when you get up. This is where people get into these numbing behaviors where they're not, you know, looking at their wounds or doing their shadow work, and they're utilizing things to kind of like suppress and stuff things down. And I'm not saying that watching TV or watching TikTok is bad. Okay, I do those things all the time, but I'm a little bit more consciously aware of when I'm doing them and what is it that I'm watching, because I know that it's programming me. If I'm watching a lot of again, fear mongering, or you know, all these different things that we talked about before, my brain is just soaking them up when I'm in these states, watching TV, watching TikTok. But the opposite is true. Like if you're sitting and you're meditating, and you're in this state, it's easy for your mind to receive like higher level thoughts or connect with your inner children or connect to your higher self. And then we get to delta states. This is where you access the Akashic records. Okay. Oftentimes, when people are first start learning how to meditate, they fall asleep because you're in between theta and delta. I actually had to teach myself and train myself how to stay awake in delta states because I would fall asleep every single time I was doing a guided meditation or trying to access my Akashic records or talk to my inner children. I would lay on my bed and just be out. Okay. And now I can actually reach delta states like when I'm on a Zoom with clients. Like I can slow them down so much that I kind of like, I don't want to say like check out of this reality. That's probably not like representative, but I can kind of detach and deconnect from the 3D sage, the human sage, and kind of get more in my multidimensional self, my multidimensional lens, so that I can access these things within other people through energy reading or energy healing. And so, again, if you want to learn more about these, highly recommend, especially if you want to get into, Akasha level work. We're going to have to learn how to get it to Delta and notice how that is the opposite of gamma and beta, where most people are at. Okay. So that is why it is so important to heal your central nervous system.